Much for joining me. My name is Sharon Rogers and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Wells, Maine. And this is Friday Night Live. Every Friday at 7:30 I try to come to you live, and if I can't come live, I've got a pre-recorded video for you, but most Fridays I am live. I'll create a simple card or other kind of project and just chat about how our week was, and maybe show you something cute or beautiful, or I don't know, something, whatever I'm feeling like making that night. So before we get started, and while I wait for everyone to pop on, I see that somebody's popped on. If you can, say hello in the chat. If you can't, hi anyway. I think I have something here somewhere. Oh yes, I'll show you in just a second. Let me turn you down a little bit. Oh, hi Sheila. Oops, that's turning you up, isn't it? Hi Suzanne. So for those of you who are somewhat local to me, I am going to be running a Trusty Tools stamp camp. And Trusty Tools is a set from the January to April mini catalog. Let me see if I can find it for you. So here's a set with coordinating dies, and it has some Father's Day stuff, and Father's Day and Dad, but it doesn't have to be for Dad. For instance, I oversee, oddly enough, a facility group at my employment, which is a church. And so I am going to be sending cards with all sorts of tools on it to the people that are on that team. But if you have somebody doing some work for you, or even if you know handymen in your life, or women, because you can make these any color you want, then this is a really great little set. And the bundle is only $54.75. And during Celebration, which I do have one of those brochures also. Let me see if I can pull one out very quickly. During Celebration, there is a coordinating designer series paper, which has some pretty cool colors, and you can see it in the background of this, but it's right here, and it's free with a $50 purchase. And it really has some great colors and great designs. And so I've created a stamp camp around this, where everybody's going to get half a package of the Trusty Tools paper, which means one sheet of every color, or one of every design. And we're going to create 7 projects. They're also going to get some rustic metallic dots, and I forgot what else. But registration is by February 7th, and this says only 4 spots left, but as of right now, I only have 1 spot left. So anybody that wants to grab it needs to grab it, whether you're watching now or on the replay. And that is February 24th, noon to 4. And so here's a little sample. This is a little 3D box that can hold some little treats and a gift card. This is another card. So those are 2 of the 7 projects that we're going to create. And I'm so excited. I can't show it to you, but I found the most adorable little treats on Amazon that, oddly enough, are very similar to the colors in this designer series paper. I was so excited about that. So if you want to sign up for that, don't delay. 1 spot left. All right, what are we doing tonight? So tonight I thought we would create, mostly focusing on designer series paper. And I thought, I haven't used this yet, so I thought I'd pull this out. This is Nature's Sweetness. And it is part of a suite of products from the mini catalog. And again, I can show you that. So here's the Nature's Sweetness suite of products. There's this beautiful designer series paper. It's the specialty designer series paper, which means it's got a metallic foil in it. And it's just beautiful neutral tones. And the suite also has these little cork rounds, which I also have, but I'm not using tonight. So they're just little cork rounds. They're kind of cool. And there's this faux leather trim, which I don't have any of that. And then of course there's the set and coordinating dies here. So there's actually two bundles here. There's kind of a floral or leafy kind of nature-y set. And then there's another one. So there's two that kind of go along with this. So I'm not going to be using any of this, just the paper tonight. So let me show you the designs. So the designs have, you know, pretty neutral and non-foiled on one side, and then the other side has some foiling. So this has some writing on it, and it's upside down right now, so I can't really read it. And then this one's got some vanilla bean and leaves and pods and different things with some text and some gold foil on the back. And then there's this one that's got some vanilla bean plants with, looks like pecan pie there. So pecan pie and the pebbled path. And then we've got a gold foil with some white embossed flowers on it. We've got just some distressed grid paper with, on the other side, we've got more vanilla bean, but gold foil. And then, let's see, oh yeah, we've got this one that is more writing with some splatters, so distressed. And then there's gold foil on the other side with just more leaves. And then we've got these which, you know, there's 6 panels that you can get from one sheet of paper, and with just this distressed grid on the back. So really nice paper. Works well for masculine and feminine audiences. Now I'm going to use some sheets that I've already got cut up. I participated in a swap, and so here are my pieces of designer series paper from the swap that I participated in. We are going to begin by bringing in our paper trimmer, and I'm going to cut some different pieces here. So I'm going to start with this piece right here, which had that gold foil on back, but I'm using this one, and I want it to be 2.5 by 5 1/4. So when I'm cutting this, I'm going to cut that 2.5 first, because that'll leave most of this intact. And then I'll cut it down to 5 1/4 on the other dimension. So that's one piece. And then for my second piece, I'm going to bring in the more white piece with the writing on it. And I really can't make out the writing really here. And it's probably not even in English. And some of it's upside down, some of it's right side up. It's really not meant to be read. We're going to cut this at 2 1/4 by 4 1/2. So again, I will do 2 1/4 first by 4 1/2. Suzanne is here. Hello, Suzanne. And then there's this pretty gold foil on pebbled path. And I can see it says something like it's something young fruit during the bearing year, and manuring it will do during that. I don't know. It's not making sense to me, so I'm going to quit reading. So 2.5 by 3 1/2. So again, I'll do 2.5 first, and then 3 1/2. And all these measurements will be on my blog, so you can create this using whatever designer series paper that you have at home. And then I'm going to bring in a piece of pebbled path cardstock, and I'm going to make a card out of it. So I'm going to score first so I can create 2 card bases at once. I'm going to score at 4 1/4. And I'm going to turn it and cut at 5 1/2. All right. So these pieces are going to go on pretty simply. I have my bone folder around here somewhere. I was cleaning up before I went on, so when I clean up, I don't know where things are. So there we go. And these pieces are going to go on something like this. So we'll have one off to the left, and then we're going to have one off to the right, but not all the way to the right. And so then I have to decide which side way up I want it. I guess I want it this way. So it might come over, you know, something like that. So it's centered as vertically, but not horizontally. And then I'm going to bring this one back in. So it's just kind of offsetting each time. So I'll have something that looks like that. Now, if you want to put some interest on this back piece, you could emboss it. It's a little more difficult to emboss the back side, but what I decided was I'm going to show you that you can kind of have a hint of a stamp without a stamp. This is what I mean. I'm going to bring in the crosshatch folder from the 3D embossing folders. And I've already inked it up a little. I just tried it out to make sure I could do it, which I can. I knew I could. And I'm going to ink this up. Just apply the ink directly. Now, this is where you could use a brayer. So Stampin' Up! Introduced a brayer in this catalog, right? I had several brayers, and about, I don't know, 6 months ago, I decided I don't need them anymore because I haven't used them in forever. So I got rid of them. I never use them a whole lot anyway, mostly to ink up background stamps, but I find I can do without it, so I do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this edge here, and I'm going to kind of just put it on a little bit of an angle here. And I'm going to press down. So if you had a brayer, you would just get the ink from your pad, and then you'd brayer it on here, and then you do what I just did. So I don't know if you can see. Can you see it's just a little faint, kind of distressed look here? I might want a little bit more down here, so I'll just go ahead and press that in right down there. So I just have just a very faint, distressed look. And then I can just rinse this off in the sink. Let it dry. All right, so now I'm ready to start assembling this. I'm going to put the papers on the way I mentioned I would. Did everybody have a good week? Mine was pretty good. Seemed to go very quickly though, which is sort of good, except for I feel like I still needed more time. What I really need time for is time in my stamp room, because I've got a lot of stuff to do. I've got a team meeting, which Sheila and Suzanne, you know about. I've got a team meeting on Monday that I'm not exactly ready for. I mean, I will be. Don't get me wrong, I will be. But I also have the Zoom team meeting tomorrow morning at 9. So I have it all planned out. I've sent the agenda out to my Zoomers. But I still need to kind of assemble and get my area clean. That's what I did a lot today. Or tonight, I should say. So we're going to put this right on here. Yeah, right about like that, I think. Okay. So aren't those colors pretty? I mean, they're just very, very neutral. There's nothing else to say about them. They're neutral. Very, very pretty. So, but it's a card, and we need a sentiment of sorts. So I don't have the coordinating stamp set or bundle, either one of them, for this set, or that goes with this. But that's okay, because I've got plenty of sentiments. And this Thoughtful Expressions is fantastic. I'm going to do Where in the World Would I Be Without You? I don't know if, yeah. I mean, I could use this one. I could use a lot of different. Now, I have not used this particular stamp very much, So when I stuck it down, it really stuck. So I'm just going to get under the edge there and pull it up. Somebody asked me about that the other day. That's what you do, Anna Luz, if you watch this on the replay, that's what you do. I don't have fingernails to do it. And I'm going to stamp on here. Now, I need some sort of label. And these Thoughtful Expressions dies that go with this stamp set have some beautiful labels in them. I think I'm going to use this vertical one. Yeah. Let's do that. I think we can do that. I think that'll work out okay. I'm going to bring in a piece of Whisper White. Whisper White. We used to carry Whisper White. It is now called Basic White because it's a little bit different. And I'm going to bring in my Pebbled Path stamp pad. And we're going to just stamp that there. Yeah, I don't really like that, so we're going to just stamp it again. I didn't quite come down hard enough on it. There we go. Pebbled Path is one of the in colors for this year. It's a really pretty color. I'm going to run this through. You can see that that fits there. And let's go ahead and find some washi tape. Oh, my stinking cat did something with my washi tape. I caught him playing with it the other day and didn't think about how I needed that for my video. So next best thing, I'm going to get this painter's tape and de-stick it a little bit. And I'm going to get that. It's a little bit more closer to the top than to the bottom, and that's exactly what I want. Let's bring in our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And we need the base plate, number 1. Number 2, we need number 3, our paper and die. And because this has a straight edge, I'm going to put it in at an angle a bit. All right, let's line this up here. And then the top plate, we'll run it through. Now another stamp set or sentiment set with dies that would have been really good to use here, I think, would have been a Something Fancy set, because it's got lots of different sentiments here, but it's also got a great label, set of labels with it as well. So that would have been a good one as well, but I didn't use that one, so. Time to change my plate. This one has done a lot of duty here. Pull that off carefully. So there is my label. And I'm going to put my die back before I lose it. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out the placement there. And I think this is going to be good, centered in here. I think that's pretty good. And let's go ahead and pop this up on some dimensionals. And then we will embellish. Everybody wants some embellishments. Even if it's supposed to be a masculine card. That's okay. I'm going to use some of these edges. They're thinner. Just to give it some balance. So if you're on my email list, whether as a team member or a customer, you know that I am getting ready to announce a retreat, a Stampin' Retreat for the spring. It's based around the Perennial Lavender suite of products. All right, so there I have that. Let's see what we've got for some embellishments. I could do the classic matte dots, or I could kind of bring in these brushed metallic adhesive back dots. There's some rustic metallic dots that I don't have yet. They're coming in. But I'm going to go ahead and use these brushed metallic ones. So that spring, I'm almost ready to announce it. I've done a lot of searching for locations, and I believe I've found the right one. It's going to be so much fun. Now I'm going to bring in some twine too. So some linen thread, I mean. I'm going to double it up so that I can have, you know, a pretty substantial bow here. All right, I need it a little bit longer than that. So let's go ahead. And again, I'll have the measurements on my blog, but this piece is about 18 inches long. So I'm gonna bring the ends together-ish. I'll cut the other end, and then I'll tie it in a bow. So my spring retreat is going to be in April, but this is the first of, I want to have a spring retreat every spring, but I also want to have a fall retreat. And I think that fall retreat, hi Priscilla, nice for you to join us. I bet it's warmer down in Florida than it is up here. Although it feels like spring up here. It's not spring, but it feels like it. Hi Stacy, glad you could make it. So where was I? So I don't know where I was. My spring retreat. But I want to have also one in the fall, and I think that one would concentrate on maybe like we knock out Christmas cards there, because everybody just needs some dedicated time to do stuff like that. All right, so now I need a glue dot to go ahead and add this to my project. I wonder if I have any extra glue dots from Paper Pumpkins. I do. So, you know what I need to do though? I need to roll up that dot a little bit, and I'm not going to be able to here. Let's just gently put it on there, and I'm just going to fold it over with the point of my scissors. There we go. I'm going to put this right here, and these ends will behave once they're off, you know, in the envelope and not used to going around this little spool. And we can put some of these dots on. So let's go ahead and put some of those on. I can put one here. And we can put one here. And we do need another one. So let's go ahead and put one right down in this corner, I think. So these brushed metallic dots are great for masculine cards too, because they're, you know, they're not so glitzy and glammy as a lot of our other embellishments. And they kind of look like, not nail heads, but, you know, they look like things people would be pounding on. So that is the outside. For the inside, all we need to do is, again, get some of this stuff and maybe tie it in by putting it on the inside. I'm just going to cut a little bit of a strip, maybe a 1/2 inch strip, and cut that down. My paper is 5 1/4, so I might as well make this 5 1/4. And we will just add a little bit of glue there. I didn't screw that in tightly, so it's gunking up. There we go. My watch just told me that I can still do it. Can't close my exercise rings. I'm like, no, I can't. I'm not even close. No, I can't, and I don't want to. All right. And then we just put that right in here. And you can choose to put that on the left. I'm going to choose to put it on the right. And I'm not sure what sentiment or what reason I'm sending this. You mean the world to me. Perhaps they've just been a good friend and I want to write a thank you note. Or perhaps it's, somebody's birthday. So I'm going to just hold on to this till I know what the sentiment is that needs to go inside. But there's the decorated inside. And if I wanted to decorate the outside, of course, I could put this on the envelope. I could cut some more paper. This leftover piece is still large enough. So let's go ahead and remind people who might be tuning in for the very first time how we can make pretty envelopes to match. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just adhere this to that flap. So I'll take my glue and just a very, very thin line. Now I know some people have a hard time getting a very thin line. If that's the case, what you want is something like this, a precision tip glue bottle. So this is the same glue. I just opened one of these and poured it into here. Maybe even two, I'm not sure. 1.5, I think I used. And that gives you a very, very thin line. So I'm going to line that up there. Make sure that when I close it, it's right up to the top. And then I take my paper snips, my detail scissors. If you don't have detail scissors, you want them. Because there's always some fussy cutting to do, isn't there, Stacy? Stacy loves to fussy cut. I do think I'm converting her. She doesn't hate it as much as she used to, I don't think. All right, and so there is our coordinating envelope to go with our card. Very simple. The only stamp I used was for the sentiment. Other than that, I used a faux stamp. I used the cross hatch from the 3D embossing folder, and I just inked that up with my pad and pressed it onto, or pressed the paper onto it to give me that subtle background, right? That's over here at the left, just distressing it a little bit. And then the rest is all the designer series paper. So pretty easy. Just have some great paper on hand and you can always make a pretty quick card. So let me go ahead and turn you back to me. Back to me. Back to me. There I am. And thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this card. And if you have, go ahead, give me a thumbs up or heart or however you mark it on whatever you are watching. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. This Sunday, we're coming up on my last episode of my Valentine's series. So I hope you'll stay tuned around 3 o'clock. I think it's 3 o'clock on Sunday, whenever it comes. I don't know. And then I have, let's see, I have a Kit Together class tomorrow. I think, Suzanne, I think you're going to that. And then I have my team meeting tomorrow morning for Zoom. And I have my in-person meeting on Monday night. So all sorts of things happening. So I got to go get ready for that. So have a great weekend and I will see you on Sunday. Bye.